Alright, so I'm back, and today is time to put Giant together. So we're going to start with the gun pieces here. And like I was saying in earlier videos, I don't think these make the best guns for the individual bots. TFC did top them with that. But the combined gun is infinitely better than TFC's. Like, there is no question there. So there's a little tab here, and a little slot there. Tab, slot. Peg here, slot there. So you want to just take those, plug those together, and then there's a little tab here, slot there. I'll tab in like so. Then you want to take these two pieces here. Make sure that this is the bigger part is facing down. You take those, and there's big tab right here, big slot there, and there's two tabs and slot sections here, 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 and here. So you line those up. And those will just plug in together. Take these two guns here. Again, there's a tab there, a peg right there, tab there, peg there. So you line those up, tab those in. Then you take this, and they will, there's the two handles there. They'll just plug in those holes right there, like that. Then you take this whole assembly here, plug it in, and then you got the gun. And I think this makes a very convincing giant rifle. So it's really nice. And I just meant that as in a large rifle, not as a giant's rifle, which works well too. Setting that off to the side. Next thing we want to do is take these things. And what you want to do is you open this up, and you rotate this out, close this up, and then there is a hand. And you just want to turn the hand like that. So, I'm going to go over Poseability as we're building him. So let's see here. So this is the left arm. And what you want to do, there's a little button here and here. Come on. Focus. There. There and there. And you push those in, and you can see those little tabs up at the top. They squeeze in. That will help you immensely getting this thing together. There's buttons all over this thing. So you just take this, and you slot that in. And once it's in there, it locks really well. You can pull it out if you want to, but I advise not to. So once it's connected here, this arm, and I'll show the connector joints later once we have them connected, but this arm will go in and out. It's kind of a cheat because this is just an arm right here, and this is just kind of like shoulder armor, but it does kind of work. So this goes up and down. There is a bicep swivel, ratcheted. Everything's on this thing is ratchet pretty much except for that swivel here, but it does have a softer ratchet elbow. Hand does rotate all the way around. Thumb is on a ball joint, and each individual has one hinge to them. And then if you fold this up back the way it was, open this in, and you can just rotate the hand back in, close it up, and now you can take like this screwdriver accessory here and plug it in. And that kind of works. Not really, not at all. No, don't like it. So flipping that hand back out. So again, you know, the fact that the Mixmaster and Scrapper, you carry these as kind of like backup generators, and they're the forearms. It works much better than like I like the tread idea on the TFC, but if you want the look where Devastator has the treads on the arms, and then he also has this, you have to spend an extra $50 for the TFC to get the forearm. And that's just stupid. I don't like that. You shouldn't have to spend another $50 on a $60 figure to make it look more like the way you want. When this guy was originally, I think, $350. Right now, you can pick him up most places for $400, and he comes complete. Anyway, moving on. So here's the other arm. Same poseability going on over here. So we won't showcase that. Fold this up. And this will plug in right there. Just like so. And then you can collapse this up. Like so. And there you go. There's the arms done. Now, for the head, I do want to show this off while it is not connected. Sorry about the background noise. I'm getting the other head. He does come with two different heads. So here's the head, and here is the alternate head. Now the alternate head retains the same transformation ability, so it does fold up. But what it does have is the mouth opens and closes, as you can see. And then if you pull the switch here down, he does have a visor, and it never really worked very well. Oh, you got to do both sides. It doesn't work the best, but it does work. And then here's the stock head, where all it does is rotate down. So, I have to say, of the two heads, I think the stock head is probably better if you like that silver thing. If you want the black, you got to go with this one. So, it's up to you which one you want to go with, but you do have options with the head. So, set him off to the side. Let's do the legs next. So, here's the scrapper foot. Due to the transformation, his toe does swivel a little bit. Up and down. The heel spur is stationary, and then the whole thing is on a ball joint. I think, yeah, a ball joint. And it's not your typical ball joint. It's in there really tight. It holds really well. And the ball joint itself is like built around, or the joint itself is built around the ball. So it's not like one of those that you could easily pop out. I really don't see. I think the only way I would be able to pop that out is if I were to pull on it really hard and potentially break the damn thing. So that's it for poseability there. This one, the foot doesn't really do anything like the shovel here does. So this one just has the ball jointed foot, and it's the same thing. I mean, it's hard. It's going to be almost impossible for me to show that. But it's the ball joint itself is inside the plastic, so it's not like it's going to pop out real easily. So there's that. Rotating the camera up, and there's no buttons for the leg assembly, but you just want to. Before we do that, let's talk about the hips. So Giant will have a little bit of a waist swivel, but due to this, it does get really hindered. Hips ratchet up and down, in and out, and then there is a knee bend right here as well. So just take this, plug it in, and plug it in. Now, there are buttons on these guys, to release that. So you push here and here, that will help remove this clip. But once it's in there, it goes in real easily, and it holds very well, as you can see. This is where Giant infinitely just tromps all over TFC. It is the fact that once he's together, he might be a little bit more fiddly to get together, but once you get him together, he's incredibly stable. Alright, now we take this piece here, and what you want to do, there's a button here that will push this in, and this is kind of like a hook, and then there's a tab. And then over here, there's another hook right here, and another tab there. So you want to just kind of line that up to where they go. It's not going to be something I can show, really. Just because of the way it's designed. And we get these in there, and there we go. So that's attached. Pull the camera up a little bit more. And then back here, you can actually take this piece here and fold this up a little bit further, and that'll tab in. Now we can take these pieces here, and I'm going to just fold these like this so they're a little bit more out of the way. And then rotate the hands so that they're facing inwards. Instead, just get those out of the way. And then you take these things here and plug them into his hands. Just kind of angle them how you can. And do the same thing here. Just kind of tab it in. Just tab it in. Tab it in. Give it a little tabby. Anyway, it's been a long day. Alright, so you tab those in, and they kind of work as like back pistons, or look like back pistons. So it's kind of nice how it all folds up a little bit. Alright, and still gives you that Devastator vibe in the back. Rotate the camera up. So just angling it up. Alright, now there's a tab, there's a little button right here that you push in. And then you can take, I find it easiest just to move this up and out of the way here when you're doing this. And then just, there you go, plug it in. There we go. And then you can take this thing, put it back together. Rotate that in, and there you go. Now, the way the ports are designed, you could actually scramble city the legs and the arms if you wanted to. I don't know why you'd want to, because Devastator's always been this assembly. And then do the same thing over here. I like to pull that up, and there's where is the button on this one? Button is this little tiny one back there, so it's kind of a bitch to do. Push that in. There we go. Nice and tight there. Alright. I'm going to reposition these because everything just kind of comes undone while we're doing this. Like I said, it's kind of hard to get them to peg in, but once you do, it's so much more stable than TFC. Because TFC uses the Energon combiner ports, and those just aren't that good. For heavier figures. That's one of the biggest problems with Ares. Now, what you want to do with this, you can assemble this into like a big battle axe or warhammer thing. It's stupid looking. I don't like it. I'm not going to show it off here because Devastator never had a warhammer. Now, what you can do, depending on how you want to pose him, you can take this here, and there's tabs underneath here that will plug into these slots right here and here. So you just take these and tab them in like so. And And what you have here is just the crane is sitting out the back. Now what you can do is pull this out. Once you pull that out, you can snap that, and then you just kind of slide it up a little bit. It's a little floppy when you do that, but if you don't have as deep shelves as I do, that might be a better option for you. All right. Kind of looks like he's leaning forward. All right, now we take the wing here, and this will just fold around, fold out, and you want to put this right in the middle here. This plug will plug in right here. And, the next plug will plug into this square slot right there. So you just line those up, and just kind of wedges in. This is probably the least stable part of the figure. But once it's in there, it's not too bad. There we go. And then you can take the gun here, and this will just plug into his hand, like so. And then the only other point of articulation that I haven't shown off is that the arms do rotate all the way around. So there you go. And I think this guy is just incredible looking. I love the way he looks. You know, TFC has a better toy. And when I did my chart, that's the bottom line was TFC does have a better toy. This is a better, like, modernized update of Devastator. I think this one, I have to say now, after thinking about it for so many years, that he is the superior figure. He looks better, he feels better, he's more stable. I could take him and, oh, there we go. Oh, if you do the shake test, don't hold the buttons down. Oh, that's hilarious, actually. I was sitting there like, what the hell? He's never done that before. Okay, so there you go. Don't do the shake test while holding down the buttons. All right, so you can plug that all back in. But yeah, he's very stable. He's not going to come apart on you very easily. Ratchets are very solid, but they're not scary solid. And then for size comparison, here he is with the Seeker mold. And I think this works really well. Obviously, you know, if you're going by cartoon scale, sorry, lost my train of thought because work's trying to get a hold of me. But anyway, if you go by cartoon scale, this guy's never going to be big enough. Maybe that Titan scale one will be big enough, but we're not going to get all our figures in that scale ever. And if we do, we're going to spend a fortune because I mean, this thing was a $400 figure. Hercules is only a little bit bigger, and he's about 12 inches, and he's $600. So we'd probably be looking at $1,200 per combiner from third parties because we know Hasbro's not going to do all of them, and if they do, they're not going to be the best. Anyway, so I think this works very well for the smaller scale classics. If you're going with bigger scale classics, like if you have him, who is the same size as the iGear Seekers, I still think it works, but not as well as, say, Hercules would. So let me angle this camera up a little bit further. There we go. So that works pretty well. Springer, I think that works pretty well. again, works pretty well. And here is the Hasbro Superion. And as you see, they're just about the same height. And I know some people are going to be wondering about those, and I'll pull him up a little bit closer here in a minute. So I think scale-wise, he fits really well in with Combiner Wars figures. Unlike the Combiner Wars Devastator that will be coming out later, which does not fit very well with the rest of the line. I'm not bashing a figure I haven't seen yet. I'm just calling it how I see them. And the fact that they're making a figure that doesn't fit in the same line, scale-wise, I think is kind of ridiculous. But anyway, so there you go. I think, just about the same size. I think they scale perfectly together. I wish he had smaller hands that were a little bit more posable in comparison to the Giant. Now, looking at him, he looks perfect proportions, and looking over at him, the hands are kind of goofy proportions. So I don't know how the Perfect Effect ones are going to look when they're done. I'll probably take a look at it. But anyway, so all in all, Giant as a whole, not the individual bots, as a whole, I'm going to give him a 10 out of 10. I think he goes together real well. He's not overly complicated, but he does have some nice twists and turns to him. He's fun to transform. Not as fun as like the TFC one, because TFC, like I said, is a better toy. This is a better collector piece, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, I really like him. I love this figure. The end result is justifies the bot modes on some of them. Like I said, you can't have a combiner without something getting compromised at some point. And I think he balances it out pretty well. Anyway, I'm bringing in Superion a little bit closer. I know that the horns is probably what you guys would question at some point. And what those are is, as you can see, they're not that flimsy rubber anymore. They're actually my own metal horns I made. I copied the actual ones so that you can get it. I have to do a few more tweaks on the mold before I show you guys how to do it, because this didn't come out as well as I hoped. But it does, you can see it still swivels, comes up, and they are metal. They're not plastic or that flimsy rubber stuff. They'll bend because they are metal, but they're softer metal, but they're a lot better than the flimsy rubber, I think. I just haven't painted them yet. I haven't had the time. So anyway, there you go. Giant Devastator, awesome. Get him. TFC's has a restock in right now. And Big Bad Toy Store has pre-orders up for a restock. So if you're thinking about getting him, I would definitely just jump on it right now. At least pre-order it from Big Bad Toy Store, because you don't have to pay for the pre-order up front, and I think they're not due out for another month or two for there. So I definitely would say pre-order it and then think about it for a while if you're on the fence. Because it's unlike Hercules, this guy goes fast, and once he's gone, the price is skyrocketed. Look at Yellow Giant. For a while there, he was on clearance. Now, I cannot find him for a decent price, and I would love to have Yellow Giant too. And that's saying something. Maybe it's just because I love the Yellow Giant, but I would like to have both yellow and green sitting next to each other, even though they would be the same exact toy. Actually, I think the yellow one's slightly inferior to this one for a couple reasons. But I never got the yellow, so I can't really go into that. So anyway, there you go. Giant. First completed combiner of Combiner Week.